Hey everyone, welcome to Data Savvy channel. This course is about Spark structure streaming. I hope you will enjoy it. Before we start with the course, a brief about me. My name is Harjeet and I stay in Bangalore, India. And if you want to reach me for anything, you can reach me at aforalgo@gmail.com. I'll be happy to help you with your queries. Before we start with this course, I have few assumptions. I hope you know Scala because the code that we are going to write as part of this course is will be written in Scala. Uh, then the next assumption is that you know basics of Apache Spark. Uh, if you don't know Apache Spark, you should look out my videos, my free course on Apache Spark that will help you with the basics. Next assumption is that you have already completed setup of this course. If not, please rewatch the setup course video. And the final one is that you are very excited to learn about structured streaming as part of this course. What is streaming? So first step to this course is to know that what is streaming and why do we need it. The best way to know what is streaming is with help of comparing it with batch applications. This is how our typical batch application work. At a specific time in the day, you will get an input from your source. Your Apache Spark job will process that input file and it will generate some output. That's how a typical batch application works. Now, if we compare it with streaming, the whole data that you get in a single file, you can imagine that in a streaming file, you will get that data in small pieces throughout the day. So you will have a continuous input of small data, which Apache Spark has to process. So Apache Spark has to keep on finding out if the new data is there or not. As soon as the new data is available, it has to process the data and it has to generate the output. That's what a streaming application looks like. So you will keep on getting input data throughout the day. Spark will process that data as soon as the data is available, and then it will generate the output. To better understand Spark structure streaming, we should understand some of the use cases where it is applicable. Imagine a scenario where your manager has asked you to develop an application which will get tweets which are happening on Twitter, which are being posted on Twitter as a real-time feed, and you have to read those tweets and analyze the hashtags in those tweets and find out that in last 1 hour which was the most famous hashtags or which was the most used hashtags. So you're getting a lot of tweets. Spark streaming comes to your rescue. It reads those tweets as a tweet is posted, and then it generates a list that okay, in last 1 hour these are the famous hashtags. This is one of the use case, which is a very simple one to explain any person uh, how Spark streaming can be used. One another use case which I generally explain the newcomers is processing sensor data. So you get a lot of IoT devices which are posting data, say to a queue. So you're getting a lot of data about these sensors and they're getting posted to a queue. Your Spark streaming application will read those messages from that queue and it will generate a dashboard or it will generate that, okay, what a report about the data of that sensors, a report which is live, which is changing every second. Now, since we know Spark streaming, there are some pros and cons of using it. Let us see what are those. Uh, so first pro of Spark streaming is low latency. So as soon as the data is generated, you can process that, and in very low latency, you get results. And if you have a use case of getting incremental data throughout the day, then Spark streaming is custom designed for that kind of applications. You don't have to write any boilerplate code which you have to do in case of Spark batch probably. Uh, you it is very, as the data comes in, it can take the data and process the data. That's a very good pro of using Spark streaming in case of incremental data loads. And then there are few cons of using Spark streaming. If your data is not ordered, it makes the work a bit complex. Structured streaming has tried to make it a bit simpler, but there are still some cons of that. We will discuss about it as we proceed in this course. And then usually there are challenges if there is a failure in streaming applications. You may end up reprocessing some of the records. And a lot of applications don't like duplicates. You would like to process the record only once. So, streaming applications can have challenges with that. Streaming frameworks can have challenges with that. Spark structured streaming solves that problem to some extent, but there are a lot of work. There is a bit of complexity attached to it, in streaming applications as compared to a general batch application. So last one is that if your source is generating data very fast and your streaming application is not able to cope with that, then it could be a big problem. So you have to match with the speed of your source. Uh, there could be a big backlog getting built if you are not able to process your data properly. So performance is very key in streaming applications, and it could be a very big bottleneck in a lot of scenarios. Okay, that's all I had for this particular video. In next video, we'll look into some examples of Spark streaming. We will look into some Hello World kind of thing. Thank you for watching this video.